Are we live? What up, people? It's your boy, the host with the most that do not brag of boats, and I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. I'm Krista Don One. Welcome to my live stream. How y'all living? I'm living swell. Feel free to hit the subscription button, the notification bell, share this with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Let's get this YouTube channel lit in the YouTube algorithm. You heard me. All right. So I want to talk briefly, real fast, about my channel and about things surrounding YouTube. Okay. First and foremost, let me talk about my channel real fast, real quick. Um, so I'm going to be changing the prices for memberships. I'm going to make them real cheap, real affordable. And basically, if you mess with your boy, if you have if you grew a liking to your boy, then, and this is optional, you can hit the join membership button. I'm gonna have 3 tiers. All tiers are going to be affordable. Each tier is going to have different opportunities when it comes to my channel. The first tier is just basically supporting your boy, just supporting the channel. You messing with your boy and you want to support your boy even further. Don Squad in the house, stand up. Second tier, basically the second tier, it's the same thing. I'm going to add some different features for the second tier. I'm not too sure what I'm going to add for the second tier. And the third tier, it's going to be the same things as the first and second tier, but with this tier, you get exclusive content. So I'm going to be in my bag with exclusive content. I'm going to try to upload some exclusive content once every month. The goal is to upload as many exclusive content as possible. Okay, so we got that on out of the way. Just wanted to get that on out of the way. Also, if you are subscribed to me, if you're not subscribed to me, really doesn't matter. If you're listening to this live stream, this is the first time I'm going to ask for advice. This is the first time I'm going to be seeking advice from all of you out there. And basically, it's the progression of the channel. What do you guys want me to do on this lovely, luscious channel? Pause. All right. Do you guys want me to do more live streams? Do you guys want me to do long form content? Are you guys interested in my short, my YouTube short content, or live streams? So please comment below. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you want me to do. Tell me the things, if you haven't heard it on this live stream, I should try out, particularly for this channel. So yeah, I'm leaving the door open for a lot of you guys out there who are subscribed to the channel, who are not subscribed to the channel. If you're interested in me doing other things, please comment in this live stream. Comment in the comment section, okay? I'm seeking professional or unprofessional advice from you guys, okay? So just comment below. Tell me what would you like for me to do, particularly on this channel. Now, a lot of people have been, talking to me about possibly doing more gaming live streams. And to me, to be completely honest with you guys, particularly on YouTube, not a lot of people go to YouTube to watch gamers game or do live streams. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. Yes, I know Dr. Disrespect. I know The Murder Show. I know Tim the Tap Man. I think that's his name. There are a lot of people out here that gets a lot of views, basically just live streaming them playing video games. Those are exceptions to the rule. You got those, and then you got the others. And the others, they get in where they can fit in. Now, me personally, if there's a game you guys want me to play, if you want me to play this particular game, you will have to give me that game, because that shows to me that you're willing to buy a game and you want to see me play it. So I'm going to put in as much time as possible on this game. Anything over 100 hours, I done more than my fair share. If you gift me a game, if you give me money in super chat to say, hey, yo, Chris, I want you to play this game. Hey, what about that game? Now I do have a PlayStation, so it has to be a game for the PlayStation. But if and it can, the price can be either free, it can be $5 game, it can be a $70 game, whatever the case may be. If you guys want me to continue to live stream on this channel, then I'm willing to do it. Now I do have a gaming channel, and it's in the description below if you want to just subscribe to my gaming channel. Sometimes I live stream there. I don't live stream often, but when I do live stream there, it's a masterpiece. All right. So yeah, so I got that out of the way. Thanks for everyone that's coming in the building. Could you do your boy a favor? Can you do your boy a solid? Hit the like button and share it with your friend, family, as well as your follower. All right. Now moving on. This was going down on the YouTube wires on the live feed. Thanks for the thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. I don't know who did that, but thank you, thank you, thank you. So a lot of people are saying when this feature is turned on their YouTube channel, they notice that they get an extreme drop on views and viewership, and that's auto dub. Now, for those who've been living under a rock, allow your boy to explain. Auto dub means your video will, the rest of the world will understand your, because it's like a translation. So, yo, what's up, mom? How you doing, mom? Bruh. Okay. So, thanks for the thumbs up if you did do a thumbs up. So that's what auto dub is. And a couple of months ago, you have to go into your settings and click auto dub, and it's like a translator. So people in Tibet, people in South Africa, people in India will understand and follow along to your video because it'll be dubbed in their language. Now, a lot of people are saying that it's hurting their viewership. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have seen people with auto dub and nothing has changed with their views. All right. I've used auto dub. I think auto dub, it just gets a wider audience to your content. So if you have a big audience, like if you got like 100,000 subscribers, 1,000,000 subscribers, there's really no need for you to select auto dub. Now, someone is saying, there's a lady that made a video. Can you share a story that only you know? You have a very narrated voice. Okay, I will. What's up, mom? Hey, MJ7 the Hero Squad. Yeah, I got a story for you. Just stick around, and I'm gonna tell you guys a very funny, entertaining story. But let me get done with this real fast, real quick. Okay, so yeah, that's what auto dub is. So a lot of people saying that it's hurting their channel's growth and development, it's hurting their viewership, and I've other people saying it's not. This lady did say in this video that YouTube, it automatically turns on, so you have to go into your settings and turn it off. So if you are a content creator, if you haven't noticed a drop in your views, matter of fact, if you're not noticing a drop in your subscribers, I suggest keep it on. I'm going to keep it on. I'm going to keep it on, keeping it on. All right. So I don't have an issue with auto dub, but apparently a lot of people out there has an issue with auto dub. Now I will say this, and I was just thinking about this when I told you guys this story, and I really think the people that's having a hard time with their views, their viewership is dropping, is if you use a lot of slang, if you use different words to fit a certain meaning, then auto dub probably ain't gonna be for you. Okay, if you say the N word a lot, thanks for the thumbs up, thanks for the thumbs up. if you curse a lot, if got that swagger in your voice, you use a lot of slang in your voice, in your vocabulary, then I don't think autodub's going to be for you, because a word such as deaf, no, yo man, that story was deaf, or that story was ass, you know, uh normally people that's around you, or people that's particularly in the United States of America, or somewhat, understands the lingo, they understand that when you say that story was ass or balls or deaf, they mean, translation, you didn't like the story, right? You didn't like the story. But with auto dub, the system's set up to where, you know, it's going to put the word, or try to put the word that what you're saying. And in auto dub, it might be auto dub in a different language saying, yo, the story was ass. Maybe some people won't follow along in South Africa or understand what you're trying to say in India. So be careful with your slang, be careful with your profanity, because if you're using auto dub, I think that's where it's hurting your channel, your live streams, your videos, because when it's translating in another language, like in Germany, they're going like, oh, okay, I can't follow along, I don't understand what he's saying. So that I feel like that's one of the negatives about autodub. Me personally, there's more pros than negatives about turning autodub on. You're like in a different audience that have never heard of you before, like in Germany or in France or in India or Taiwan, or Japan, China, whatever. You're in a different audience that may gravitate to your content, because your content is entertaining and it's interesting, and it's easy to digest and follow along. And with auto dub, it helps that new audience to understand your content. So yeah, be careful with that. If you're going to use auto dub, try to do less cursing, try to use less slang, just basic English. If you can just do basic English, and you're not moving words around to fit a different meaning, then fine. I think auto dub will be great for you. I feel like the pros outweigh the cons while turning auto dub on. Okay, that's just me. All right. Thanks for the like. Thanks for the like. Also, do you guys want me to live stream around this time? Let me know in the comment section as well. All right, so I promise you guys an interesting story, a funny but serious story. Now, okay, so here we go. And it has to be a clean story. It can't be nothing graphic or sexual or anything like that. All right, so I'm just gonna basically tell you the time. Oh my God, I really don't want to tell you guys this. Let's hear it, my friend. Okay, I'm about to chill. All right, I'm trying to rephrase a lot of stuff that's in this story, man, because it's a funny story, it's an entertaining story, but I'm gonna try to cover up the names, because the people that I'm talking about, they are subscribed to my channel. So if I use their name, they're going to see this live stream and they're going to go, man, why would you tell that story? Okay. So, all right. Okay, here we go. All right. Why are you bald? Because I like being bald, goon. I like being bald. Why you like being called goon? Why you asking me why I like to be bald? I answered your question. Why do you like to be called goon? G-O-N. I don't understand that. Okay, so hit me up in the comment section. Tell me why you like being called that. Okay, and please don't say, oh, just a name, just a thought that it was in my head, it popped in my head, so I figured I'm going to name myself that. Okay. So, okay, here we go. Story time, story time, story time. You almost made me forget my story because I goon consistently. I gotta really think about that one. All right. So, okay, story time. All right. So I used to work at this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the store. I used to work at Kroger. For those who've been living under a rock, I used to work at Kroger. I left Kroger about 6 months ago, and this was a weird location. It seemed like all the oddballs, the crazies, people with problems and behaviors all gravitated to this store. It seemed like, you know how when some people say you get the best of the best? Well, we got the worst of the worst. Okay, someone's just left me a comment. Hold up. Being bald is proven to improve your aerodynamics and increase your okay, can't hate on a man for loving himself. I love myself. I love myself with or without hair. I won't lie. I like being bald too. I like to shave my head all the time. Yeah, the problem with being bald is like in the summertime, it's cool in the summertime because you're not as hot because you don't have all that hair on your head. But now in the wintertime, if you don't wear no ball, if you don't wear no stocking cap or something like that, you're gonna freeze to death. Okay. But let me get back to this story. All right. So like I said, I used to work at this location, this Kroger location, and we got the worst of the worst. Okay. You know how some places get the best of the best people? We got the worst of the worst people. All right. So I worked with this guy in this department. I'm not gonna say his name because he is subscribed to my channel. So we was working. It was a normal evening. We're just, working merchandise out. Nothing different, nothing unique. Now, he's cool and all, but he real talkative about politics. All right, which I'm not a huge fan about politics. I don't mind, being in a discussion or if you're saying something about politics, I will just listen and play along with it. But I'm not no huge advocate of politics. But he likes to talk about politics. I used to have my headphones on all the time and I would listen to podcasts or music or whatever. And he knew I had my headphones on. But then occasionally he would come to me and start all of a sudden start talking. And I would get half of his sentence because I had my music on. So I had to virtually turn my music off or whatever I'm listening to so he can talk. Obviously, he does not have a lot of friends. Okay. And the only friends he gravitate to are people at work. That's pretty much the reason why he stays at work, even off the clock. He will literally stay there to almost to the afternoon. I mean, this man will spend 15 hours at work, 10 of it on the clock. The other 5 hours, he would just walk around the store. Like, it's like it's a neighborhood or something, Everyone's there to work. Apparently, he's not there to work. So anyway, he doesn't have a lot of friends, and that's cool, okay? So he was telling me a story. I don't know how we got to this story. Anyway, I had to turn my music off because he was talking about politics. And he was talking about he's from Pennsylvania. And he was talking about these candidates from Pennsylvania. And he was talking about how Pennsylvania is bad. Then we gravitated from politics to why Pennsylvania is so bad. Now we're talking about his personal life. I did not welcome none of this info. He, came with this info. He started talking about his family, how his mama he didn't like him, and even though he know his mama didn't like him, he would still go see her, still go call, still mow her yard. Sometimes, he would literally drive, and I'm from Nashville. He would drive from Nashville all the way to Pennsylvania like maybe 3 times a year to go see his family. And then, but he's telling me he's got problems with his family. He talked about how his brother can't keep a job, and talked about his sister. She's mooching off of his mother. It just seemed like to me, why are you going to Pennsylvania and you're not saying anything good about Pennsylvania? All right. You're not going to Pennsylvania for your love interest. Obviously, you're not going to Pennsylvania because you have, a strong tied to your family, because you talk about your family, and you say your family got problems and issues. Okay, so I'm trying to figure this stuff out. Okay, even you dragged me into this conversation. At least I want to try to figure this out. Okay, so a coworker told me of the time where I'm just gonna go ahead and say his name. Look, bro, if you listen to this live stream, I'm sorry, bro. I can't do this person and that person, okay? So Peter, your name is Peter, dog. Your name is Peter, all right? So Brian told me the time, Peter, when your brother slept with your wife. Okay, which to me, that's the lowest you can go. All right, out of all the women on the planet, why would you sleep with your brother's wife? There are millions upon millions of women out there, men and women. Okay, why would you I'm sorry, dude. Hey, man, here, I'm sorry. Man, I can't do that. He said, she said, so I gotta say your name, okay? So, Peter, if you watching this, I apologize. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize. I'm sorry, bro. All right? So, anyway, where was I? Yeah, Brian was telling me about Peter caught his brother cheating on his wife, okay? And and I love it. I loved it when I heard it, but I don't like it telling this story. It's really a sad story, man, to be honest with you. So, yeah, out of all the women, his brother cheated on, had sex with his wife, with Peter's wife. All right. And it was kind of weird how he caught him. All right. So basically, Peter worked at this other grocery store and he spent overnights working at this other store. And she thought she understood Peter's schedule. Like he was gonna come home later. For some strange reason, Peter came home. He just did his 8-hour shift and then he came home. So when he came home, he opens the door and his brother is on top of his wife, and you know what they was doing? They were doing the do. All right. Now, most guys. Now, I'm gonna ask y'all something, chat. I'm gonna ask y'all something. This is multiple choice. What would you do? A, yell, scream. B, start fighting your brother. Or C, pay it no mind. Obviously, Peter picked C. Now, Peter didn't say nothing to his wife, didn't say nothing to his brother, and this traumatized Peter. So much so, Peter's got rabbit ears, all right? So if you tell Peter something, he takes offense to it. Like, here's an example. Like, you say, hey, yo, Peter, you might want to order this many Little Debbies because, you've been, the Little Debbies are always, every time I come to the shelf, there's no Little Debbies, all right? And then Peter would go, okay, yeah, okay, fine. And then 5 minutes later, Peter brings up that same conversation, saying, hey, what do you mean when you say I should order more Little Debbies? What do you mean when you say the shelves are always empty? What do you mean? It's like Peter tries, I don't know, it just seems like Peter has got rabbit ears and he takes offense to everything you say to him. So you have to, say things to him in moderation. You just can't just drop a whole load of a conversation on Peter. Because if you drop a whole load of a conversation on Peter, then Peter is going to perceive that as something else. All right. Because, his mind wanders. He thinks everyone's out to get him. Okay. So, but he thinks everyone's out to get him, but he wants to be friends with everyone. So go figure. Okay. So another time, Peter was, and Brian, it was Peter, Brian, and I think his name was Michael. He was the manager. Okay. So they thought it would be a good idea to get Peter to do other things other than hang around the store all day. So Michael came up with this idea like, hey, let's have Dungeons and Dragons night. Okay. So if you're not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons is like this fantasy game. It's a role-playing game, and you got stats, and you build your character, and you have to use your imagination, okay, to play along with the game. Now, I used to play this back in middle school. It was cool in middle school, but hey, look, man, we're 30, all right? Who in the world wants to play Dungeons and Dragons, a role-playing game? Who wants to put that much time in? You have to be a super, super duper nerd to play Dungeons and Dragons at 30 years old. But I digress, okay? So, Peter was happy that Peter was doing it, Peter was doing it on the strength of, hey, I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons fan. He said, love the concept of Dungeons and Dragons. Never had the chance to play it though. Yo, Hero, it's a good game. I'm not tripping or nothing, but it's like one of those, yeah, you're a nerd off the rip. Okay. So Peter was playing this game on the strength of, hey, I'm gonna be around a bunch of people. Why not? Okay. So Peter started playing every night. I think it was on Tuesday night or Thursday night. I think it was on Thursday night. No, Tuesday night, because Peter was off on Tuesday night. So on Tuesday night, they all get together and play Dungeons and Dragons. All right. And everything was fine, cool, no problem. Peter's happy, the whole world's happy, right? So Michael started messing around with this girl in the bakery department, and I forgot her name, but she had a nice little body on. She was thick. She was a white girl, glass. She was thick, okay? But she was married. But Michael was messing around with her, fooling around with her, and she had a weird type of relationship with her husband where they had an open relationship. So it was a one-sided open relationship. So I think her husband gets turned on to the fact that she would mess around with different guys, and I guess that turns him on or something like that. I don't know. I ain't never been in a relationship like that. I just think it's a one-dimensional pleasure type relationship where she gets to go hop in the sack with everybody, but you don't. It don't make no sense to me, but hey, if you like it, I love it. All right. So Michael, the manager, and I forgot the girl name. I'm gonna call her Michelle, okay? And they would fool around. They would fool around in the store. They'll be in the freezer, lip locking. They'll be in the bakery department, lip locking. And it's supposed to be one of those undercover type things, like no one not supposed to know. It's funny to me when you're trying to keep things on the hush hush and on the down low in a workplace, but everyone knows your business. All right, everybody knows your business. So we all knew that they was messing around. We also knew that she was married, and we also knew her husband would occasionally come in, but her husband would never. I know it's crazy, man. It's too crazy. You can't believe, but this is all true, dog. This is all true. All right. So, the husband was in, like, husband knew that they was messing around, but I guess that he gets turned on by that shit. Okay. So, so everything was cool. So, Michael and Michelle was fooling around. Peter gets to play Dungeons and Dragons on Thursday night. Well, Michelle started having an issue with Peter because word around the campfire is, I don't know if this is true. I really don't know that this is true. But word around the campfire is that Peter goes both ways. Peter, I guess when he got cheated on by his wife, that sent him down a rabbit hole. And now Peter got a liking for other guys. Okay. Now, Peter don't say that he's openly or he's in the closet. He's like stuck in between, if you dig what I'm saying. Peter's like one of those type of people that he doesn't even know that, he don't label himself as the G word. He don't label himself as he don't label the plot gets. Look, okay, what I'm trying to say is Peter is a closed-minded, closed closet type person. All right. But really, to be truthfully honest, I don't work with Peter. And sometimes Peter be acting weird to me, like, man, I be saying, like, man, yo, get a dog, get a girl or something like that. Like, he would be around me a lot. He'd be like, arm to hip. I'm like, dude, man, give me some space. Give me some elbow room. Back, give me 50 feet. All right. So Peter's one of them type people. I don't think Peter is gay, but Peter is, he's just exploring. All right. So he had a fondness for Michael because you can tell that he had a fondness for Michael because he would take Michael home every freaking night. And on the days he's off, he let Michael use his own car. All right. Everyone thought that was weird. And he would always be around Michael like he would be around me, like arm to hip, like that type of weird vibe. He just gives you a weird vibe, you know what I'm saying? So Michael and Michelle was hitting it off. So I guess word got around to Michelle that Peter goes both ways. So you know how women are, like, when it's bad enough a woman is going to act funny if another woman likes the man that she's messing with, and they work together. So women are extremely jealous and they territorial. Okay, so when she found out that Peter's that way, then all hell broke loose. Okay, little by little, Michael stopped hanging around Peter. Little by little, Michael stopped Peter. Peter couldn't take him home, because Michael figured out another way to get home. And then he wouldn't use his car because that turned Michelle off in the worst way. All right. So Peter got upset about that. You know why I said Peter got those rabbit ears? And Peter didn't get upset. Peter just had rabbit ears. You dig what I'm saying? So when she found out that Peter's like that, I don't think he's like that, but a lot of people think he's like that. All right. But like a lot of people tell me, like, yo, Chris, you really don't know when someone's gay and when someone's not gay. All right. And I'm gonna tell you a quick story, this little quick story. All right. I was in McDonald's drive-thru, and I would go to this drive-thru all the time. Same woman that would give me my food. I would say, hey, how you doing? I say thank you, and then just drive off. No harm, no foul. Okay. One of my friends, a couple of times, was with me going through the drive-thru, and he just kept looking at the lady. Okay, I thought it was a lady. Come to find out, my friend said, that's not a lady. That's just a man. I said, what you talking about? That's not no man. That's a woman. He said, Chris, you can't tell that that's a man with a wig. You don't see the jawline. You don't see the knuckles. You don't see the Adam's apple. That's a man transitioning. All right. So I'm weird like that. I don't be looking in people's eyes, staring in their face and staring into their soul, trying to figure out if that's a male or a female. Okay. If you got a dress on, I'm going to perceive you as a female. All right. That's just the way how I operate. I really don't care. All right. So, but anyway, back to this story. Okay. And that's why with Peter liking men, I didn't know that, okay? Because that's not how, I just didn't know it. I just didn't put a lot of thought in it. So Michelle got upset, and then Michael stopped hanging around Peter. And that devastated Peter. Now, Michelle, she was cool with it. Michael, he was cool with it, all right? Everyone else in the store was cool with it. They understood the assignment. Peter didn't understand the assignment. So Peter got devastated by that. All right. So then I started noticing Peter started spending more and more time with me. Normally I would see Peter on an 8-hour schedule. I would probably associate with Peter maybe 1 or 2 hours. Okay. That's a lot for me to hang around you. Okay. If I'm hanging around you 2 hours in an 8-hour shift, that's just too much time. All right. But I just went on and dealt with it because I knew Peter is, he's just lonely. Peter is a lost soul. I just found, his wife done cheated on him. And now this Michelle thing, now he's no longer invited to Dungeons and Dragons. Everybody under the sun is allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons with Michelle and Michael, but Peter, all right? And they will come up with these weird excuses. Oh, we done canceled the night, okay? Even though Peter just done heard 3 people talking about that, hey, y'all going to Dungeons and Dragons tonight? And, they're asking people to join to play them in Dungeons and Dragons, okay? It gotten so where he was asking me, yo, Chris, you like Dungeons and Dragons? And now I told him, I said, yeah, I used to play it in middle school, but you know, and he's also, you know, the concept of Dungeons and Dragons. I said, yeah, I can follow along. So, yo, me and Michelle and the other guys and everyone else at work, we play Dungeons and Dragons. Why don't you play Dungeons and Dragons? I'm like, I'm not into that stuff, but I appreciate it. Okay. So when he was in conversation with me, he didn't realize Peter was on the other aisle. And Peter heard this whole conversation. Now, mind you, Michael told Peter that they done changed the dates and they're thinking about not doing Dungeons and Dragons. And you're having a whole full-fledged conversation with me on Dungeons and Dragons. All right? And you just got to telling Peter that you're not doing Dungeons and Dragons no more. Okay? So now, Peter said, and for like 3 days, I started noticing, you know, Peter stopped hanging around with me. He stopped walking over there to the aisle talking about politics, okay? So I'm going like, you know, which quiet as kept, I was cool with it. I had like 3 or 4 days of paradise, okay, where Peter didn't even bother me or anything like that. So one of my coworkers walked up to me and said, hey, yo, man, you know, have you been noticing Peter, you know, is not talking? You know, he's kind of cold and not really talking to the people, you know, and he looks sad, look like he's about to cry and stuff. I'm like, word, Peter about to cry? No, you know, maybe Peter, going through some things. And, and then, one of my coworkers said, well, Chris, Peter always go through things, but he always talks, okay? So I'm going like, okay, let me go on over there and see what's going on with Peter, all right? So I waited like 3 hours of work. I got 3 hours of work in. So I walked over there to the other side of Peter. And I go like, hey, yo, Peter, what's going on with you, man? You know, you ain't been talking. A lot of people think that you going through some stuff. Well, what gives? What gives? So Peter, I swear on my mama's soul, Peter was about to cry. Peter had water in his eyes. The water couldn't drop down to his face, but I could see the water in his eyes, okay? And he's just talking about, and he just goes down this whole layout like, yeah, you know, me and Michael, we used to be cool. We used to, I used to take him home, and I used to let him, use my car. He's going through the whole rap sheet. Oh man, I used to go hang with him, play Dungeons and Dragons, and I gave him money, and his ex-wife is putting child support on him, so he has a back child support pay. I even paid that, Chris, and just this is the thanks I get. They kicked me out of Dungeons and Dragons. So he's like telling me the whole laundry list of what he done did for Michael. Come to find out, there was some things I didn't even know he did that for Michael. Okay, so I said, Chris, now's your opportunity. So because the burning question I wanted to know, maybe not what everyone else at the workplace want to know. I want to know if Peter been compromised. I want to know, do Peter likes other guys? Okay. So I went on and told him, I said, hey, yo, man, word around the story is that you had like an infatuation with Michael. Now, when you throw something like that to a guy, what do you think a guy gonna say? A guy's gonna blow it off. A guy gonna be like, what? No, not me and Michael. No. He was saying everything under the sun except convince me. He didn't say he was for it. He didn't say he was against it. All he was saying is, just passive aggressive, like, nah, I don't do stuff like, just trying to explain himself. And well, y'all don't understand, like me and Michael, we like close friends, and he's saying everything, but I'm not gay. Okay. You don't hear that from Peter. I'm not gay. Okay. You don't hear I'm not gay. All you hear is a bunch of excuses. So I learned this a long time ago. When people tell you, when you ask a person a question and they're telling you everything under the sun except answering your question, 9 times out of 10, they may be gay. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm about 99.9% sure. Like, if you have a conversation with your friend and you ask them, like, yo, word around the campfire is like, you like, Marcus, and Like, you really like Marcus. Like, you want to be in a relationship with Marcus. What? Marcus? No, I'm not in no relationship with no. First of all, man, I just work with Marcus, okay? Me and Marcus are close friends. Me and Marcus done did this. Me and Marcus done did that. I done loaned Marcus money. I done did this. I done did that. You done said everything under the sun is, except I'm not gay, okay? So I just assumed Peter was gay. From that conversation, Peter was gay. But to me, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care who you want to go to bed with. I don't care who you infatuated with. As long as you don't throw that stuff on me, okay? I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I don't care what type of person you are, all right? That's just me, okay? So, yeah. So, come find out from that conversation, I found out a lot of things about Peter. And the biggest thing I found out, Peter was in a relationship with Michael. Now, I don't know if Michael was part of this conversation as far as being in a relationship with Peter, but from Peter's perspective, he was in a relationship with Michael. And Peter's not mad at the fact that he's not invited to Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, no, 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 no. Peter's not mad at the fact that they no longer talking like at work. No, Peter's mad at the fact that Michael picked Michelle over Peter. And Peter, if you listening to this, I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry, dog. You gotta call a spade a spade. You gotta call a ball and a strike a strike. Okay, look, man. That girl can offer more than you. Okay, you dig what I'm saying? That girl can offer more than you. Okay, yes, she's married. Yes, she has kids, but she's with a husband that don't mind that they're in an open relationship, a one-way open relationship, and he doesn't mind that she, mess around with other guys. She don't care. Okay, so he's in a perfect storm. She's in a perfect storm. She's in a perfect world. Okay, that's what she's into. Okay, so Peter was mad at the fact that Michael chose her over Peter, and Peter was furious about that. Okay, so couple of months go by, everything doesn't settle down. Matter of fact, what makes it even settle down even further was Michael took a transfer from Kroger. Michael quit Kroger and moved to Texas so he could be closer to his kids. Okay. And Michelle, she's after he left, 2 months after that, Michelle quit Kroger because Kroger was stressing her out. And basically her husband told her, like, hey, if they stressing you out, you don't have to work. Okay, you can quit at any time. So she's got one of them type of husbands where he'll work 4 or 5 jobs just for her to just sit at home and watch The Price is Right. Okay, so hey, look, you like it, I love it. All right, some people have options, some people don't have options. Okay, so when they left the store, Peter started getting back to normal. Okay, and now I started seeing a change in Peter. Okay, so Peter started having a liking for me. All right. Now, Peter understands my backstory. I'm not into guys. Okay. And I'm in a relationship with a female. All right. So I don't get down like that. But Peter had made several attempts on me. Now I'm gonna tell y'all the first attempt. And it took me like 2 attempts to figure out what Peter was doing. See, the first attempt, I thought it was a my bad moment. I overreacted. First and foremost, if you know me, I'm not the type of person that I don't want people touching me. I don't care if you're a male or a female. I don't like it when people touch me, man. Don't touch me. All right. Don't pat me. Don't touch me. I don't do that stuff, okay? Because, I'm just that way. 2, I like my space, okay? Please don't invade my space. What's my space, okay? If I can smell your breath, then you too close up on me. I don't like it when people get all up in your face like, bro, just stand back and tell me what's going on. Okay, so I'm just that way. Okay, a lot of times you have to assume that it was just an accident, but a lot of times they have something else in mind. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It happened to me before, and I had no clue. Yeah, because see, I'm gonna tell you why. You know why you feel that way, hero, and me and you probably on the same wavelength. Okay, uh, the reason why you feel that way is because you don't really be paying no attention about it. You know, you just going in there, just assuming everybody is on the up and up. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the first time I felt like Peter was trying to hit on me. All right, so we was working graveyard, right? I'm in my aisle. I'm in my world. I got my music on. I got my, I got my music on. All right. And I just hear a bunch of talking. Okay. But I don't see anybody in my aisle. But I hear some talking in the distance. Okay. So I'm like this. If they're not talking to me, I'm just going to keep working. So I just kept working. Right. So I kept working. And then the talking got louder. Again, I can hear somebody talking and asking something, but I'm not paying it no mind because I'm looking through the aisle. I'm looking through my aisle. Ain't nobody in my aisle. Okay, so I'm back to work. I'm listening to my music. All right. So then Peter came from his aisle to my aisle, and he went, "Hey." And I'm like, then I had turned my music off. I took my headphones out and took my music off. I said, "Hey, what's up?" He said, I've been talking to you for like 30 or 40 minutes. And I'm saying, "Word, really?" I said, "Well, dude, man, why you didn't come over here and talk to me? Because, I got my music on." And then Peter said, "Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting. You be having your headphones on." Bro, we've been working together for over 2 years. I have the same system. I come to work, I put my headphones on, and I start working. I swear to God, I've been on that same schedule on that same time. I don't be bothering nobody. As long as I got my music on, you're gonna get a lot of work from me. Because as long as I can listen to my music, you're gonna get a lot of work from me. Okay? So I'm like, yeah, I got my headphones on. He's gonna like, "Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that." Again, been 2 years. I've been same schedule. I've been on the same schedule. All right. So I'm like, "What's up? What's up? What's up?" I'm assuming he's getting ready to talk about politics. I'm thinking to myself, this fool gonna be talking about politics. Okay. So then he starts talking about Michael. And, I'm going like, "Oh my God, man, this has been like, you haven't mentioned this man's name in almost 2 months. The man been gone. All right. Why are we still talking about this ninja? All right. So he goes into talking about they got like a store. And I didn't even know this. Apparently, he was driving him home. They got into an argument and he almost hit a semi truck because they got into an argument. And then he pulled over because he almost hit the semi truck. He pulled over to the side, and then he said Michael started slamming his fist in the on the car, like on the car dashboard, like "Man, watch what you doing? Watch what the hell you doing? You got from that's his side, all right." And as I try to do research in this story from other employees, that's pretty much the side everyone is banking on. But I think there's more to it because why would y'all be, arguing in the first place? You dig what I'm saying? Like, what was the argument about? He never did get into what was the argument about. He never did get into why was you rushing to, to take him home? Because normally, you driving pretty reasonable and you like to talk, you like conversation, but why that particular night you in a big hurry to take him home? Okay. So he goes into that, he starts talking about that. So I start digging deep, right? Like I'm asking him these questions, but like I said, Peter don't answer questions directly. He's passive aggressive on all questions. Okay. So I'm going like, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, what was the purpose of this conversation? I'm asking myself, why are you telling me all this stuff? What's the purpose of this conversation? Why are we even having this conversation? Okay. So I went on and asked them because I'm getting irritated because I could be listening to my music right now. Okay. For those out there, I love R&B. I love old school R&B. I like rap. I like today's rap. Yet I love music, man. If you let me look, if you got a job and you got 80s, 90s, 2000 R&B and hip hop music, I wouldn't need no headphones because that's all I listen to. Now I do listen to podcasts, but I will sacrifice all that if you got a business and all you play is 80s, 90s, 2000s hip hop, R&B, rap. If you got that playing consecutively at your workplace, you will have the best employee in the house. I will be there every day, twice on weekends. I will even work on my days off. Okay, that's how I love music. I love music that way. Okay, so anyway, that's that. I have a passion for it. So, I asked him. I'm like, yo, man, why are you bringing all this stuff up, man? Like, Michael's been gone for like 2 months. That girl's gone. So why are you bringing all this stuff up, man? And he said, oh, man, I'm just irritated because, those last couple of months before he left, we didn't really talk or say much. And I had a lot of stuff to talk about and a lot of stuff to say to him. And I'm going like, yo, bro, like, okay, but don't you got his number? Like, can't you call him? Can't you text him? He said, oh yeah, I got his number. I can text him. I can email him. I even added him on Facebook. I'm going like, okay then. Well, if you got all those access of communication with him, why are you not talking to him? Why are you talking to me about it? Okay. So I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Chris. I'm gonna be really completely honest with you. I think I like you. You cool, you're reasonable, you're a great listener, I consider you as a friend. Now, here's where I done effed up because I pretty much, normally I don't use friend loosely. So when someone says that, hey man, we're friends, I hurry up and correct them like, yo, like we're associates, we work together. I may know you from someone else, but we definitely not friends. Because to me, the definition of friend is someone that, to me, I appreciate the like. I've been talking nonstop. I'm so sorry. If you're still here, I appreciate the like. So to me, I consider a friend someone I can depend on. Okay. Like if I was stuck, like if I had a flat tire and I had no way of fixing my tire, guess who I'm gonna call before I call a wrecking service or whatever? I'm gonna call one of my friends. Like, yo, man, I'm stranded on the road. Hey man, can you help me with my tire or help me get to my destination, whatever the case may be? I got plenty of friends like that. I really do. I got plenty of friends. A friend is somebody like if they're getting married or something important happens in their life and they be like, yo, Chris, man, I'm getting married. Hey, can you attend my wedding? Yes, I'm gonna come to your wedding. I even got friends that are no longer on this earth. God rest their soul. And even my friends that are no longer on this earth, and even my friends that are here, they know that I do not like I don't like attending of funerals. Okay. It's just too much sadness, too much, it's just too much. You dig what I'm saying? It's a roller coaster of endless emotions. You don't know what to say. I'm one of them type of people. But the two type of people I will go to their funeral is my friends and my family. Okay? My mom passed, and my mom knew that I wasn't a huge supporter of going to funerals. Okay? But I even went to her funeral. All right? So that, that's how you real important to me. If I'm going to your funeral, or if I'm going to your wedding, or if I'm going to some type of special event, that's the definition of friend. Now, man, Peter, we're co-workers. I know Peter, but I don't know of Peter. If you dig what I'm saying. But as a worker, he's a good worker. I don't have nothing bad to say about Peter as a worker. Okay. I listen to a lot of this MF Doom while I'm at work. I feel you. Yeah, I know who MF Doom is. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I dig what you're saying. All right. So, yeah. So I dropped one of my quotes. Normally, when someone says that, I would correct them, but you have to understand the state Peter was in. I felt like I shouldn't be direct to him. I should just be supportive of him. So I didn't say you're my friend. When he said that I consider you my friend, Chris, I didn't say nothing. Okay. And then I said, then I just let him talk. And basically those 10 minutes was, to me, I wish I could take those 10 minutes back, because those 10 minutes, this man really opened up. So then pause. So to me, you also got to understand why people use the word friend. See, I feel like people use friend not in the proper definition that it is. Like, people will call people that they drink friends. People would like date other people, call them friends. Okay. So I'm up here listening to him for like 2 minutes. I didn't say a word. So I just let him, talk. And then he said, yeah, I mean, I consider you a friend, Chris, and you treat me better than anybody in the store, and you listen to me, and hey, just being hard. It's been hard for me, Chris, like, I don't have a great relationship with my family. He basically just telling me that he's lonely. Okay. But I'm encouraging him, like, yo, Peter, like, you should give life a second opportunity. Just because you struck out on these couple of things don't mean you should give up on life. I mean, you should get out there, go to the movies, go meet new friends. And then when I said go meet different people, make new friends, when I started getting into that bag, he started going into, well, what you mean by that? I mean, there you go with them rabbit ears. Like, what do you mean by that? Why I gotta meet new friends? What's going on with the friends I have? What's going on with you? And then I said to myself, okay, Chris, you're gonna have to tell him. You're gonna have to tell him. He don't get it, so you're gonna have to tell him. All right. So I said, like, look, Peter, I don't have nothing against you. You're a great worker. I like working with you, but I really don't consider you like a friend. Should I have said that? Now looking back at it, I should have said that in the beginning. But at that particular time, I felt like that was the wrong thing to say, because that's not what he really wants to hear. Okay. So, Peter started like trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do at this moment. All right. Because, like, another thing, my friends know their limitations with me. My friends know what they can say to me, what they can't say to me. My friends know, like I said earlier, like, look, I don't like being touched. I don't like people getting into my face. And my real friends know that. All right. So Peter starts getting close to me. Okay. I mean, unusually close. Okay. And I'm not picking up the signs, but when he started getting close to me, that's when the alert starts to come. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You getting too close. Okay. You talking too casual. Okay. And he had his arms out. I don't know what he was trying to do. Okay. Because when I asked him about this particular night, because I said, man, for a second, I thought you wanted me to hug you. And he go like, me? Want to hug? No, Chris, you overreacting. You reaching on that one. I'm like, yeah. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm tripping. Okay. But that particular night, he had his arms out. Like, he's looking at me. He's getting close, and he's got his arms out. Okay? So I'm saying to myself, it's, he's trying to put a move on you. Okay? Maybe I'm overreacting. But I'd rather overreact than not paying no mind. Then next thing you know, you got some male stranger's arms wrapped around you, and you going like, how the hell did I get here? Okay, so basically he had his arms out. So as he's having his arms out and as he's approaching me, I'm taking steps back. Okay, and he stops for a second, and then again he tries the same process again. This time he didn't have his arms out. He started trying to get a little close, and I'm taking steps back. Now, at that moment, I said to him, "Hey, yo, Peter, I ain't into all that stuff." He said, "What are you talking about?" And then I said, "Yo, man, you know me. I don't like it when people are close or all up in my face. You know how I am. I'm not down with none of that stuff." Okay. He said, "What stuff are you talking about?" And I said, "Hey man, Peter, I don't want to tell you because you're gonna overreact, but I'm just telling you, Peter, I'm just not into that stuff." Now, when I say I'm not into that stuff, he should have known what I meant when I said I'm not into that stuff. All right. So that particular night, a whole week, just straight quietness, straight peace and quietness. Peter would be in his hour working. I would be in my hour working. The only thing he'll say to me is when he comes in. See, I come in like 2 hours earlier than Peter, and when Peter comes in, we'll say good night, good morning, whatever it is, and then we just go back to work. And then when it's time for me to go home, I just clock out and go home. I'm not one of them type people that, walk up to you and go, "Hey, yo, I'm going home now. I'll see you tomorrow." I'm not one of them type people, okay? I'm just not one of those type people, okay? So, like I said, for a whole week, peace and quiet. And you know how, I don't know. I do this. Maybe you guys don't do this. But to me, you know how when something bad happens, you put it behind you, you stop thinking about it, and then eventually, it just didn't exist. Like that incident never happened. And the only time you revisit that issue is when someone else brings it up, or you just happen to be doing something and then the thought appears in your head. I'm one of them type of people. Okay. So whole week passed by, and I, didn't say anything. Nothing was said. He was cool. I'm cool. All right. Whole week went by. And hold on one second, yo. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing this. Oh my God, Chris. Okay, yeah, so a whole week went by. Nothing was said, nothing was mentioned. Chris. Okay, yeah, so a whole week went by. Nothing was said. I don't know why. What the hell? So yeah, a whole week went by. Nothing was said, nothing was mentioned. Life's good. You dig what I'm saying? I'm I done forgot about it. Peter, I'm assuming Peter done forgot about it. Okay, because he's not, walking up to me. Okay, I'm good. So one of my coworkers, who's also talks to Peter, he was, talking to me. He came in around 6, and normally I be gone like at 5. So when I saw him at 6, I had to stay over one night. So, cause normally I leave at 5. So he's going, we're up here, talking, and he's telling me what's been going on in the morning time, and I've been telling him, just keeping up to date what's going on overnights and things of that nature, and we're just, having, just talking. You dig what I'm saying? So he went like, yo, I don't want to tell you this, but I'm cool with you. Now, I like him because he knows, like, hey, he knows me. And we have a good understanding towards one another, and he's pretty much like me. But he's more of an introvert than I am. He's a little younger than me, and sometimes we be talking about life stuff, and sometimes I be saying like, "Yo, man, you need to get out there, find you a girl, get your life going, because you don't want your whole life to be about going to work, going home, door dashing, playing video games, go to sleep, and then repeat the same process." Okay, you need to have some substance in your life. You dig what I'm saying? So I talked to him on that level on the strength. Okay, so we're up here, talking, and then he, says, "Hey man, what's been going on with Peter?" And I'm going like, nothing. I mean, he's been kind of quiet and distant, but it's been peace and quiet. I love my peace and quiet. I get to listen to my music and all that stuff. I'm not thinking any differently, because again, like I told you earlier, I done put that incident we had to bed. I put that to rest. Okay. I'm not even thinking about that incident no more. Okay. It's not even an incident. It's not even a thought in my head. Okay. So he's going like, interesting. That's okay. So he said, "Hey, yo, man, I don't really want to tell you this. Because I figured maybe Peter would have already done talked to you, but it's obvious Peter's not going to talk to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you." So yeah, Peter, Peter's been talking to a bunch of people and talking about you and him. I'm going like, "What you mean, you and him?" And he said, "Okay." And he said, "Well, Peter was talking about there was one night y'all had a conversation. I guess y'all didn't see eye to eye, and he just assumed that you don't want to be bothered by him, and now he's asking management to maybe get him someone else in that department, and this, that, and the third. Basically, he wants to move me to another department, and because he feels like, I don't know, he feels like we're not we're not talking a lot, and I don't know. To me, when I come to work, I just come to work. Okay, like if you like if I'm working for you and you tell me, "Hey Chris, I want you to do this, that, and the third," and I do all that, and my shift is over with, and I tell you I done my task, I just think that should be suffice. I don't feel like we should, be talking, and I don't get it twisted or confused. I don't mind being in a workplace where we're all we're communicating, and we're talking, and this, that, and the third. I don't mind none of that stuff. The problem is when you expect it all the time. Okay. So anyway, he goes into, he's been talking to a bunch of coworkers, and he's been talking to management. Now all of a sudden, management is involved. I guess they had a discussion like maybe they're ready to move me someplace else. And I'm going like, wait a minute, what is Peter talking about? So I told him about that incident, and I told him, well, Peter was more talkative. Uh, he was more talking than I was, and he was talking more so about relationships and wanting to be my friend. And I'm going like, you know, I told him, I told him, I said, look, I don't have time for none of that stuff. Okay. You know, you cool and all, and I like working with you, but that's as far as it goes with me. I don't see you as anything else. I don't see you as a best friend or whatever. Okay. So this is the third attempt. And then that's when I really put two and two together. So he's going like, yeah, you know, it just seems like the dynamic done changed a little bit. The chemistry's off. I'm like, dynamic chemistry? Y'all make it sound like me and Peter are in a relationship or something. I said, I just came here to work, you know what I'm saying? You know, and two, I don't even get down that way. I don't get down that way, you know, and I don't have nothing against anyone that's down like that. But to me, you know, I'm a woman's man. I love women. Okay. I don't ever see myself liking any other gender. And that's not no hate. That's not no disrespect. That's no discrimination. It's just that's the way I have always been. I have always been a guy who wants the company of a woman. And as far as a friend goes, like, yo, like Peter should know that, and you know this, everyone knows this, you know, I just don't label everyone with the friend label, the friend tag. I'm not built that way. You have to have a long period of time with me where I even consider you dependable. I even consider you as a friend. Okay, so I don't even get down that way. I don't know what Peter's talking about. Okay, so couple of more weeks go by, and then Peter finally rear his ugly head in my eye. He going like, hey, you know, I've been noticing it's been like, you know, a couple of weeks. You know, you haven't, you know, came over and said hi to me, or you know, ask me what's going on, and the sales and the work, and it went from communicating about work, and then it goes into other things like, yeah, you know, you've been kind of frosty, you know, you normally don't. I said, first of all, Peter, whoa. Every time we even talk, you always come to me. All right. And then he tried to stop me real fast. I'm like, can I just say this? You always come to me. All right. I always listen to you about your politics. And thanks for the likes up. Thanks for the thumbs up. You always come to me about your views on politics. You always come to me about your family. You even came to me about Michael. You even came to me about other things. And yes, you do come to me about work. But I don't never come to you about anything about work or anything like that, because you know this is technically your department. So I'm just here to just work. I'm not here to mingle. I'm not here to be. I don't want no. You know, I'm not here to recruit new friends or any of that stuff. Now, if it happens, it happens. But anything other than that, you know, I'm not interested. And when I mean anything other than that, I'm talking about, you know, being in any type of relationship with anybody. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay, I've worked with these people so long that I know I know a little bit about them. And plus, I'm happy. I'm happy in the relationship that I'm in. So why would I jeopardize my happiness for trying something different out and trying a totally new experience? And I'm just not interested in that stuff. So he had his head down and he go like, oh, okay, well, you know, you want to work, we can just work. I said, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the status of me and you. You know, I work for you. You know, you tell me what you want me to do. Now, hey, you know, if you want to talk about politics, you know, I'm here. I don't mind listening to you about politics. If you want to talk about anything like your family and stuff like that, I'm cool with that. But you know, as far as anything else, I'm just not interested. Okay. And I even told him again, I'm in a happy, committed relationship. Why would I jeopardize it for anyone or anything? Okay. So I'm telling him, I'm pretty much telling you, like, yo, I'm not into that. I'm not down with that. Okay. So months go by, slowly but surely, he says things on and off, but I wasn't really paying attention. I just knew it was different. I just knew it was different. So months went by. He's going on vacation. Okay. So, and I knew he was going on vacation. And when he went on vacation, I'm asking him like, yo, is anybody going to help me while you're on vacation? He says, well, I don't want to get involved and I don't want to get in your business. I'm like, okay, now I'm just talking about work. This is your department. I'm talking about work related things. I'm talking about, like, when you leave, is there anyone going to be helping me? What do you want me to focus on? What you want me to work on? Like, my conversations are about work, okay? And then he goes into this like, oh, I don't want to get in your business, and I know you don't see me like that. I'm going like, what? I don't like. What are you trying to say? Because anyway, so I said, okay, cool. I guess I'll go talk to the manager. So that whole week, I didn't get an opportunity to talk to the manager because, see, the manager would come in so late, and I wasn't going to stay over. So I would go home, go to sleep, and then I set a timer for myself to wake up in the middle of the day so I can go talk to the manager, see who is going to have helping me. Okay. Never did get an opportunity to talk to him. So on his last day before he goes on vacation, he tells me, oh, they're going to try to get this person. They're going to try to get that person. No real confirmation. So he goes on vacation. Come to find out, I had to work the whole department by myself. Okay, cool. I'm asking other managers, like, is somebody going to come? And, they tell me, well, we're going to get someone to help you this day for a couple of hours and the next day for a couple of hours. We're not sure about the other 2 days, stuff like that. So I do the whole department basically by myself. I did have, like, on Sunday night, they had someone come in and help me work the truck. Not the whole truck, but some of it. And then the next day, there was some stuff I left Monday night that I left. They came in and worked that, and then, when I leave stuff, it's not like when it was me and Peter, like, we'll have a whole truck. Peter would take care of one half of the truck, and I'll take care of the other half of the truck. So Peter's on vacation. So I would basically take care of like 80% of the truck. I would leave some of it there. Now I could stay over and finish it, but, like, I'm going like, why would I do that if you would have had help for me? Just imagine if I would have had help day one, we wouldn't leave anything. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I have to go now, my friend. Love your story. Have a good one. You too, man. You have a good day, man. You have a good day. You have a good day. Okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this story just in case you want to listen to it again. Hold on one second. Y'all want to finish up this story. Woo, shoot, my bad. So y'all gonna finish up this story just in case you want to listen to this again, or just in case someone else wants to listen to this. Okay. So, I went on and where was I? Oh yeah. So I did the whole week, had little to no help, and Peter, when Peter came back from vacation, then I would take my vacation. So when Peter comes back, I'll be already on vacation. So I literally had no interactions with Peter for like 2 weeks because he was on vacation. I didn't bother him while he was on vacation. Then I went on vacation. Okay. So I kept hearing stuff while I'm on vacation. Oh, they got Peter some help, and then I keep hearing that they're going to add him into our department. I'm going like, wait a minute, if there's barely enough hours for me and Peter, how they're going to be able to have me, this new guy, and Peter in that department? So I put two and two together. Like, I'm going like, so someone told me like, yeah, this guy didn't work out in another department. He was getting into it with the department head. The department head doesn't want that person there. They wanted him removed. So the manager is sending him over there. Now, their line of thinking was, I'm going to send the manager, or the manager going to send him over there. Now, he was supposed to come with me, work with me, but I don't know what happened from that perspective. And so he ended up working with Peter while I was on vacation. So I kept hearing talk that he's going to replace me and they was going to put me someplace else. So, I'm calling. I came into the building and I was looking for the manager. I'm going like, hey, yo, I'm keep hearing weird stuff. Like, it was bad enough that I worked the whole department by myself. And now y'all, all of a sudden want to, this guy's not working out in one department. Now he's going to be taking over my duties, and I'm going to be doing something totally different. So basically, we sat in the office, he talked, and he looked sad and pitiful. Talking about, oh yeah, I wanted to tell you this. He's not working out well. Well, first and foremost, he used to work in one department as a lead. Lost his position there because he couldn't do his job. So he lost his position there. They kicked him out of that department. They put him in another department. He still got the big head thinking that he's still a department lead when he's just a regular employee. He clashed with the department head there. The department head said, look, it's either him or me. I'm not going to be in this department if he's going to be in this department. So they basically put him in our department. And then he was going to move me someplace else. I didn't really have an issue with it, but my whole thing of it is, shouldn't I have an option to go someplace else? So I'm naming him these other departments that I possibly may want to go to. And he's giving me all these excuses. Well, I kind of like the dynamic there. Or, well, they don't have enough hours there. Or, well, this and well, that. And I'm going like, okay. So I'm on vacation. And then I'm saying to myself, like, yo, this don't feel right, don't look right. It just ain't right. So I asked for another week off. And as I asked for another week off, I started, figuring out, okay, well, if it's not going to work here, I'm willing to work someplace else. So I left there and I'm working at another place. But come to find out, to make a long story short and a short story shorter, come to find out, Peter was going to management, telling them this, that, and the third about me. And I think it went all downhill because of me not, I guess, going along with the plan. I guess he wanted more than just an employee. He wanted me to replace what he had with Michael. Like, he wanted me to be Michael, but I didn't want to be Michael. I just wanted to be Chris. And I think he drew a fondness towards Michael. And when Michael didn't feel the same way towards him like he did with him, he said, well, bump you. I got Chris. I'm going like, well, you don't have me like that. And it's I just came there to work. I didn't came there to make friends. If I made friends, I would make friends. But as far as relationships or being in relationship with somebody, no, that's not going to happen. So basically, I got that's basically what happened in that story. I went on, move on, did my own thing. I've seen Peter every once in a while since I don't work someplace else, and sounds like it's rough. From what he's telling me, things are different. They done cut their overtime. They done just not in a good spot, not in a good place. But he said he's cool with the new guy from what I hear. And I just left it like that. I said, okay, cool. And I just kept it pushing and kept it moving on. But hey, to that story, if you learn anything from that story, this is what you should take away from this story. Okay? People don't care about your work ethic. People really don't care about how dependable you are. People really don't even care if you call out a lot. Okay? The number one concern that people really care about is can they work with you? Can they work? People don't want to work around people no more. People just basically want people as friends, as pets, or they want everything under the sun except a dependable worker. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you guys. So, I'm telling you, check out the signs in your relationship, in your workplace, because your boss may not see you as an employee. He may see you much, much more than that, much more complex, much, much deeper than that. So, you can either play along with it, and I feel like playing along with people is like playing along people's emotions. So I wouldn't do that. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of that story. If you want to learn anything from that, man, just be real day one. Be real day one. Hey, look, I came here to work and nothing less, nothing more. That's how I would perceive it. Now, how you perceive it is different. It's just different. Okay? So yeah, I done been talking for like almost 90 minutes. I didn't even know I was on this mug for like 90 minutes. So I feel like to say this. If you haven't already, could y'all please hit the like button, share this with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Also comment in the comment section. Tell me, guys, what you want me, what you want from me. Do you want me to do more live streams? Do you want me to do long form content, short form content? You want me to do gaming live streams? You want me to do stuff like this, story times? I like this. I like this. I might do more of this. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see where it leads us. But yeah, I'm about to hop up out of here. I'm gonna get some breakfast, and then once I get some breakfast, okay, I'm gonna take care of some content that I'm gonna have uploaded next week. So be on the lookout for that. I also got something dropping this in the next couple of hours. I need you guys to do your boy a favor. I need you guys to do your boy solid and support the content. Okay, support the content. So yeah, I'm about to head on up out of here. I had fun with you guys. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. Deuces, guys. I'm gone. Deuces.